Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw tips and tricks. Somebody needing some help with we're a little bit early on the Christmas ornament, but I guess it's never too early to get started. I'm going to take away some of these little lines and show you what this would look like filled in with wood. Let's say if this was a wood background or cutout. We're going to take away the outline so it looks better. And then move the Leah back over and go up to Object, Order, Front of Page. Now, this is you have to engrave the Leah and then cut the wood out. Pretty easy project. It's a little bit different in some things. So what we're going to do, we're going to take it doesn't really matter what size you start with. I'm like 13. You would make this probably 4 inches. So then what we're going to do, we're going to Control D and make a duplicate. Holding down the Shift key, I'm going to have that grow outwardly for just a second. And then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to Control D and I'm going to hold down I'm going to get my two-sided arrow, hold down the Shift key, and I'm going to go about right in there. And then I'm going to Control D again. Of course, it makes it too big. So we're going to go Shift and make it have this border. Now, we're a little bit thinner on that. Let's make it like 69%. So at least our lines are kind of even. The best way well, first of all, let's go get our Starflake or Snowflake. So I'm just going to type out some letters, capital, it doesn't matter, small cap. And I'm going to go to Flakes that you can find on dafonts.com. Now I'm going to pick this one right here because I think it's going to be the best. I'm going to go to Object and break it apart so I can just get this one. Now in this case, I'm going to use the same snowflake throughout. And that's about the right size. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, but I want to make a duplicate and put it over here. Now I'm going to take this one, I'm going to left click, right click. But what we have to do, we want it to make sure we're inside that box. So we're going to take this, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit P and I'm going to raise it up, holding down the control button so I know it's perfect. But then I need to make it a little bit smaller, so I'm going to hold down the Shift key. I want it inside that other layer. Now I'm going to move the out one out of the way and the inside out of the way. And I'm going to move my snowflake out of the way. And I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool and fill that in. What that did is made me a solid ring. So now I can take this away, move this back. I can left click, right click. I can bring my snowflake back. This wouldn't really work if it was just 2 lines. So we're going to Control D and then we're going to alternate C and we're going to rotate it 30 degrees. You can pick any amount. I don't know how I got that. Other projects I'm working on. So because this is a solid ring now, we can go here and instead of welding it, we're going to go front minus back. And what that did, that took that away. So now we can move our rings back. And when we fill this in with the Smart Fill tool, just to make sure it works, you always kind of want to do that. Now I'm going to move that out of the way because I'm actually going to use it. Delete this one, move this one back. I'm going to left click, right click. And then I'm going to bring in this snowflake again, but I'm going to make it bigger. And I'm going to go left click, right click. And I'm going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. Now I want it to be touching that outer ring, or the inner ring, and it's not quite there. Holding down the Shift key, make it grow so it's in there. Now we're going to go here, and we're going to go front minus back again. That's the opposite of what we want to do. We're going to go back minus front. Well, let's try welding it. I just did this a while ago. There we go. And I always test it to make sure, that everything is what I think it is. And as long as the color gets in all those parts, and it's taking a little, So somewhere I got a little leak, which I shouldn't. Either that or I missed the mark. There we go. That's what it's going to look like. Let's nudge that out of the way and get rid of this one. Didn't really have to because it was welded. Now I'm going to left click, right click. And then I'm going to write out the person's name. I'm just going to use Leah again. I'm going to get a little bit better font. You can pick any font you want. I'm going to use Airbrush. Corel does that a lot. You have to click off it with your pick tool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click, right click. And we need some border for that. So I'm going to take under effects and go to contour. I'm going to contour to the outside, just 0.1. We get that little bit of a contour. I'm going to go to object and break the contour part. And then I'm going to get my contour and okay, I need to move this. I need to put that in the center page and I'll move this out and I can go ahead and make it black, but then take away the outline so we know we won't cut it out. Now we can take all this and weld it. So what that does now, just to kind of prove it works, let's make it a brown color like the wood. And you can see where the contour is, but I did not break the curve apart. I don't want those little bitty lines in there. So we can go to, you could leave that, break curve apart, and just click on these little bitty sections of line that were between the letters. And then let's smart fill it. And that's what it's going to look like. Then take the Leah back and move it over. Of course, to make it look right, we got to go order front of page. That's what it's going to look like engraved. It's going to engrave it on the wood. Now, I did not put a circle up there, but that's very easily done. You know, all we have to do, you know, a little hanger, left click. I always do it in red so I know. We're still working the center of the page, so I'm going to take a circle and I'm going to hit P. I'm going to using the control button and just put it up about that high. I don't know if really welding will work now. Let's try it. Because sometimes once you weld a couple of things, it isn't going to work anymore. But see, and that's what it's going to do. So you can try other things like back mount is front or front mount is back. Come on. No changes. I should have really put the circle in there before. Nope. So what we're going to have to do is just manually cut it out. It shouldn't be too hard. Just take your Virtual Sigma delete key, delete that line and that line. Now, a lot of times, if these snowflakes won't delete, they won't delete because it's a font, but since we've already smart filled it, I'm a little bit of trouble here. Not very happy with this. Look. Matter of fact, man, that's going to mess up our snowflake. Let me back up here. We want to leave all that. All we have to do is that. I went too far. And then this. Okay. See, my circle's still there. So if I select on my curved circle and go break the curve apart, I can move that bottom section of the circle and just be gone. So I'm going to test it to see if I'm doing good and it worked. And then all you have to do is put another circle. You don't have to use a polygon. Let's use a circle. And it's not a circle anymore, but if we hit P, put it in the center of the page, holding down the control button, then that way it's equal. Now, for surely what I would do now is smart fill it. Because that way it's going to, if we move this now, I actually had another copy. If we move this now, it's all broken pieces. So if we, and this is for sure a broken piece, but if we smart fill it, I'm going to do it in blue just so it kind of stand out on the video. Of course, you would do it out of wood and it would look like wood color. Now we're going to get rid of the outline right now just so it'll look good. You don't want to do that when you're cutting it. And then let's put the Leah back on top. You have to go to order front of page. Of course, the blue doesn't look that good. I just wanted to see it you could always change it to a lighter color. So that's what the snowflake's going to look like if it was cut out of a wood. Of course, it's going to look a lot better when you take away the outline because it'll look a little truer. And it also, sometimes you can't take away the outline. So that's what it's going to look like. But this is going to be your cutout. And this is all vector. This is, you're going to run it in, 2 passes or combined jobs. So you're going to engrave it first and then cut it out. Now, look how big we are. Well, let's just say with my ratio lock, I only want it to be 4 inches tall. Doesn't matter what you did, it's still 4 inches, or it's still perfect. And that is a pretty nice ornament. If it's a kid, you could add the year by doing the same thing we did with the name. Anyway, I hope that gave you some ideas, and thank you for watching.